Hello. Welcome, gamers. It is, in fact, Friday. It's Friday, the 26th of September. As you can see right there, I don't know why I start every stream like this. Literally every stream. Also, do you notice this? I didn't even notice this. Is that there appears to be... There's like... gray. This gray color on the Game Boy, it's actually... It's not even in the correct place. Are you seeing this? Everyone, you have to look. You have to take a look. This thing right here, I can't show it because it's on a different layer. You look at the hair above, the red hair above the Game Boy right here. It is... There's some gray. I can't believe this, guys. He's really fallen off. He doesn't even know. And look at this line. This line, I should really put this on a different layer so that I can actually point at it. Actually, no, what if I use this as a cursor? What if I use this? This is already on a different layer. So like, okay, so this right here is wrong. But also this line is protruding from out here and it goes up here and it's not even a line. I can't believe this. And also look at this. This line right here. It's not even good. Whatever, it's fine. It's whatever. Anyway, this is a very nice looking background. I wonder where this is. What is this? This is Schwabiker Landing in Grand Teton National Park, Wyoming. It's actually, this may be one of the prettiest images we've seen as one of these random backgrounds. It does look quite nice. Anyway, welcome Stream Elements, welcome Defins, welcome Flippy Gaming Live, welcome Last of Aka, Slime Molder, A Pullen, and Duck, and an X-Tag, Grand Teton, what is this? How do you pronounce it? Teton? Teton, is that, I don't even know. I honestly don't know. Anyway, it's been a while since I streamed. I was originally going to do Game Boy development, which is why this image is Game Boy. Also, are you sure? Okay, not are you sure. Do you notice this? I also, another issue with this drawing is that actually, for the Game Boy, the cartridges, if it's a black cartridge, it is a Game Boy color. Actually, is that fine? Black cartridges were Game Boy Color games, but they did still have compatibility with Game Boy, so actually maybe it's fine. I was mistaken. What was the one that had to be played on Game Boy Color? It was not the black colored ones, right? Anyway, Teton, I sure hope so. True. Anyway, I was gonna do Game Boy development, but it's been a long time since I've streamed. As you all know, I have not streamed since Monday. I usually stream on Wednesday, but I had a work thing on Wednesday, so I did not stream. And then I was like, well, you know, there's a lot of stuff. What if I just did a yapping stream? You know, web fishing on Friday, that's crazy. That never happens. Welcome Nymington as well. You know, web fishing, we thought web fishing was dead. It actually is still dead. I don't know if anyone still cares about web fishing, but I will be starting a web fishing lobby right now. As far as Game Boy development, I haven't done too much. It looks pretty much the same as last time. Underneath the hood though, it's very different, but I will not necessarily be showing that today. Okay, this is the code. I will paste the code. You can feel free to join if you want. Miss the Unlucky Jam. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That game was a bit too ambitious, I think. But you know, it's gonna be a game for the future. Not even in the context of a game jam. But anyway, so this past week, oh wait, someone else is trying to do this. We had a work thing. It was from Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. It's one of those things where I work in an office in New York, and there's people that work remotely, and holy frick, okay. Hello, Raiders. Ah yes, that is my stolen joke. Let me shout you out. I already know what you were doing, but I have to shout you out simply because that's what we do. I spelled your name wrong. You were not playing web fishing. Vacuously. When are you playing web fishing? Yes, you were playing Slay the Spire. The raid conveniently happened right after someone said it was their birthday 2 days ago, and I did not even greet them. Welcome, CL. It was your birthday 2 days. Congrats on birthday. Welcome to Stove God. Welcome, Little Zilla. Welcome, Altscop, Nameless Buggy, Vacuously, Craig, Joshwan, Iva, Paracan, Snake. People say snake. I say snark. Sammy, Stanley, lots of butts. And that is everyone. No one else will ever show up ever again. But I hope your stream was good. Oh, I know it was good because I was there. And then I had to start my stream. And I was like, I don't even know what happened in the past, like, 10 minutes of your stream. Surely it was good, probably. And for people who are confused about the raid message, it's because she stole my joke. It's only good because I was there, I won. You won because I left. I was bad luck. And then once I left, it was good luck. Borrowed. So there was, I was going to talk about this. Not necessarily about this specifically, but it was sort of related. I was talking about the last 3 days when I did not stream. It's because I had a work thing. It was one of those things where people that are outside the New York office, they visit the New York office. You know, it was like a week-long thing. And that's why I did not stream on Wednesday. Anyway, I was very tired. And then I was watching a Vacuously stream. I forget when it was. It was on Monday. And she was playing Silksong. And spoilers for Silksong, there's an area called the Underworks. And as you all know, anyone who's a ChocoJax fan or my fan, you'll know that the common way to respond is Underworks. I sure hope it does. And I responded with that. And she did not find it funny. She was like, I don't know if that's funny. But then 3 days later, she went live and she had that as her title. And she claimed that she had come up with that on her own. And I knew that that was a lie. But I was like, oh, that's a great joke, streamer. Hilarious joke. And she was like, so true, so true. I thought of that myself. And I did not accuse her simply because I was busy at work. And then after the stream, I clipped it and I was like, everyone take a look. I came up with this joke. It wasn't even a very original joke. Honestly, anyone could have come up with it. But she didn't. I know that she didn't. I know it was PN. When is Kday? Can I have a late birthday wish? I thought I said happy birthday. Did I not say happy birthday belated to you? Yeah, I was the first one. I was literally the first person to ever make such a joke. Definitely no one else who has ever played Silksong has ever said that joke. But I said it. Apologize. It's fine. I don't actually mind. I'm making a bigger deal of it than it actually is. Because that's what we do. We play things up as a bit. Because it's funny. It's funny if you pretend that you're bothered. Welcome, ChocoJax. ChocoJax, can you hear this joke? There is an area in Silksong called Underworks. And I said, Underworks? I sure hope it does. Right? I know ChocoJack would appreciate that. That's like her type of humor. I think she also could have come up with it on her own. If she had played Silksong. You should sue her. And then someone stole, right? Someone stole my joke. Sorry, borrowed my joke. And then I started a Google Doc to cancel her, but didn't actually post it because she apologized. And so it's there. It's fine. And she's forgiven. Is it truly borrowing if they never give it back? Also, welcome Props Not Jack. I don't think I welcomed you. It's truly yeah, I don't know. She said I'll get it back at some point. I don't know if that's true. But I don't mind. I have so many good jokes that, you know, having one be taken, it's fine. It literally doesn't matter to me. Keep the doc on hand. It was a joke. I don't actually have a doc for canceling her yet, but maybe at some point. If anyone wants to collaborate on this document, feel free to send me an invite to your document. I'm sure someone else out there has a document in progress. I can put all the crimes that she has committed. Anyway, so what was I talking about? Yes, me going to the office and not streaming. So on Tuesday, I was very tired. Also, I know I'm playing webfishing, but I'm not actually playing webfishing. I'm kind of just walking around. If anyone wants to join, feel free. Tuesday, right? Tuesday, I could not sleep actually. I was awake until maybe 7 a.m. I just, you know, it's one of those nights you just lay in bed. Anyway, I sure wish I could sleep. And then you look at the clock and it's like, you know, 3 a.m. and you're like, if I fall asleep now, I can sleep for 5 hours. And then like an hour passes and you're like, it's 4 a.m. You're like, oh, sure. If I fall asleep now, I can sleep for 4 hours. And then it was like 6 a.m. and I was like, I should probably like tell my team that I cannot sleep and I will probably be late. And so I posted at 6 a.m. on the work Slack, hey y'all, I did not sleep at all. I may be late to catch up on sleep. And then I didn't sleep until 7. Should get some 10 milligram Zopiclone. I don't even know what that is. And then I take EP time drug. See, that's also like, when I said that to my coworkers, one of them was like, actually several of them, they were like, you should try a melatonin whatever, right? I've never tried it, but apparently it's good. Apparently it works. I was thinking of many things. I think one of the things was also, like, you ever get like a song stuck in your head? That's like one of the reasons why, but among many other things. I think Vacuously's ending BGM had been stuck in my head for at least 2 hours. That was like one of the things. Yes, among. And then there was like, I was thinking about Game Boy development. I was like, oh, what if I like, you know, what if I wrote a program that optimized the tile set and moved this stuff around? Right? A lot of stuff going on. And then I didn't sleep until 7. And then when I went to sleep, I was supposed to wake up at like 8:30-ish. But I woke up at like 10 something, and then I got to the office at like 11:30. But it was fine. Everyone was understanding. They were like, I sure hope you're doing well. And I said, yep, I'm doing good. Do not take melatonin. It will give you upsetting dreams and unrestful sleep. But I thought the point was that it gives you good sleep. Let's see, X-Hack said, had to get up for something at 5 a.m. and my brain was like, why even sleep? That's how I was feeling. I was like, by the time it was like 7 a.m., 6 a.m., I was like, if I just don't sleep, can I just like survive on no sleep? But that would have been a bad idea. I'm glad I did say like, hey, just I'm gonna be late. Anyway, I got to the office. And the office, we were like, you know, doing group activities. We had like an activity and it's like, oh, try to code this thing. And we programmed some stuff. And then we had lunch. It was good. What did I do on Monday? Let me check my notes. I do take notes on things. Sorry, Tuesday. Ah, yes. Anyway, a bunch of things. Melatonin may give you messed up dreams. Your sleep quality may not be the best as a result. I don't know, but wouldn't that be better than not sleeping at all, though? Like, if just once in a while I take it. I mean, I don't think I will take it, because I normally, like, I feel like I can survive on very low sleep. Right, I had only like 2.5 hours of sleep on Tuesday, but I feel like I was mostly fine. I don't feel like I was very impaired at all. I've been using loop earplugs and sleeping for the last 2 weeks. You slept for 2 weeks? What the frick? How did this guy survive? I thought you can't sleep for 2 weeks. That's a joke. That's a joke. I know you meant not for 2 weeks straight. It's a pro-con judgment call. Yeah. I don't know. Watch me. Anyone going to sleep right now? You could be sleeping. You could, instead of watching this stream, you could be sleeping right now. Wouldn't that be cool? Just turn off the stream right now. Streamer tells raiders to leave. Leave now. Leave. You can't be here. I'm just kidding. So that was Tuesday. That'd be great to leave. I was kind of... OMG, so true. Exactly. I do have a point. We do have many people in Europe. I do know many vacuously viewers are in Europe. And it is late over there. There's several people in the UK. We have people in other places. I was kind of half napping a few minutes ago. I actually didn't do anything today because it was the end of the week where people that were visiting New York are traveling back. And I was doing a little bit of work at the beginning of the day, and then my manager was like on Slack, and she was like, "Hey everyone, I know this was a long week. Feel free to log off early." And I was like, "Okay, that's cool." And then vacuously started streaming, and I was like, "I can actually watch now. I don't have to do work because my manager said it was fine." But anyway, that was so for Wednesday though. Wednesday, I did actually sleep very well on the night after that. The night after, when I did not sleep at all, I slept for like 8 or 9 hours. It was very good. And then I went to the office. We did office activities. We had team lunch. Let me check my notes. Wednesday. What do I have for Wednesday? We had laser tag. That was the thing we did. The after work activity was laser tag. We had done it before in the past, and it was really fun. But the first time, I believe, I was very tired. This time, I feel like I was a bit less tired. Maybe because I knew what to expect. But it was fun. Sounds like a pretty cushy job. Yep, I can slack off a lot. You'll know if there's people that are streaming midday. For example, sometimes Vacuously streams. She streams like midday for me on Mondays. You know, like be watching the stream. I don't even need to pay attention to work because it's fine. Do you elite gamer skills allow you to get sick laser shots? I was actually top 2. I was the number 2 player in the first round. And everyone was like, "Whoa, that's so impressive. How do you do that? That's crazy. You're number 2. Look at the kill death ratio. It's crazy." And then I was like, "Here's the trick. You hold down the shoot button and you just hope that it hits." A lot of my coworkers were like pressing for every shot. They don't know the meta. Okay, the first time I tried it, I pressed every single time for every shot. I reloaded every few shots. After I learned, you just hold down the button, spray and pray. And then I did point out that I would just hold the button down. And then they were like, they saw the hit ratio and they're like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense." Their hit percentage is like very low. It's like, it's fine. It's just, it doesn't matter. Ammo doesn't cost anything. Let's see, you got to play the laser tag and got sent home early. Are you hiring? Actually, yes, probably. I don't know. If you're willing to relocate to New York, maybe. Anyway, at laser tag, they had a lot of like fried food. Like fried chicken, onion rings. And then they had like, it wasn't just laser tag. They had other like arcade things. They had things where you could like win prizes. You could... I think they gave each of us like a $15 voucher just to use for like whatever games we wanted to play. I didn't know what to spend it on, so I went downstairs and there was like these Mario like crane game where you could win a Mario plush. And I spent all of the $15 trying to get it. I did not get it. It was not good. This is not like in Japan where like the crane games are actually meant for you to win at some point. These are like the rigged ones where you can never hope to win. So I did not win. But we also played like air hockey. I did not win at air hockey. But it was cool. Oof, that sounds like outside. Well, I get to work from home 3 days a week. I only need to be in the office 2 days a week, which is good. It's not too much outside. No UFO catchers yet. It's the scam ones. But it was fun. And then I didn't notice that there were actually... What the frick was that? I didn't notice that there were actually like better plushes upstairs. One of my coworkers was like trying to win one of these other... I think I took a photo. Actually, let me pull it up. She was trying to get these other plushes, and she actually won 3 of them. And she had so many, she was like, "Do you want one?" And I said, "Sure." And then now I have one. And I will show you the image. It's very nice. It's a very nice looking keychain plush thing. Okay, let me save this image. And then put it on the screen. And you could all be like, "Whoa, that's so cool. That's so cool," all of you. Oh, it's a huge image. Look at this guy. Welcome, Zolly. Isn't this like a cute plush thing? I don't know what it's supposed to be. It's a Fruits Wanko Petite Mascot Plush 2. Plush 2. Here's my iPad. The case is not in a good condition. Pineapple. I guess it's probably some kind of like pineapple pudding or something. I don't know. Yes, we are web fishing. If you want to join, feel free. Is that knockoff pomporin with an orange syrup? Maybe. It could be. But I think it's cute. If we're talking about sleep, yes. I was talking about how I did not sleep at all. I slept for 2.5 hours on Monday. I guess it was technically Tuesday. Anyway, that was Wednesday. And then Thursday was another day in the office. It was the day that Vacuously was streaming, and I was like, what the frick? Why would she stream on Thursday? I can't watch on this Thursday. I checked the stream early in the morning. I wasn't gonna comment, but then I saw, I typically don't comment unless I can stay for at least 5 minutes. Like, this is in general. If I'm like posting anywhere in a chat, streamer asks a question and I'm not around, I'm like, I can't post anything. But the stream title was the joke that I made and she stole it, so I had to say something. It was like specifically titled to bait me into posting something, and it worked. And then I was like, hey, great joke, streamer. Amazing joke title. And then it's like, underworking, yeah, like you at work. And I was like, that's not me, because I actually have to do work today. And then I left and I did not come back until many hours later. I actually had presentations to do. And may you hate me so you stop watching? Yeah, that's what happened. I was like, this freaking streamer stole my joke. I'm out of here. I could not watch because I had to commute, and then I was in the office. And then in the office, we were like preparing for a presentation. I mean, it's a joke, guys, it's a joke. Can't join driving, wish I had a Tesla to drive for me so I could play web fishing on the road. That sounds dangerous. I think you should not do that. But yeah, we were presenting, and then we had like a team lunch technically, but then it was one of those things where like we were like in the office, And I decided to get lunch. So at the office we have different options, right? We have like different things. I chose to get a salad. Everyone else got like something else. But since mine was in a different place, by the time I got back to sit down, there were no more chairs available for me to sit on with the rest of the team. So I kind of just sat by myself, which is fine. And then I ate the food, and then I went to get a little bit more food. They had like tortilla chips. I got some of those. And then I went back, and then my seat was taken. I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll just go to my desk. And then I was like, oh shoot, I can watch the Vacuously stream. And then I could watch for like 15 minutes, and I watched. Just at my desk. Not at my desk, I was at a different like table somewhere. It was good times. And then I had to leave. And then I had to do a presentation. Welcome, Panis. And then I presented. I was a few minutes late. When I got there, everyone was messaging me like, where are you? It's time to present. Then I got there, we presented, it was good. And then at the end of the day, I did have time left. It was like, you know, the end of like one of those work gatherings where everyone's just like socializing. We had like some snacks. And then I was like, I'm gonna watch a stream. This is so it's actually so messed up. Instead of socializing with my coworkers, I was like, I'm gonna watch a stream because no one expects work to be done. Yeah, I put her on the big screen. I booked a meeting room. I was like, check it out, everyone. This is this is a VTuber. He's addicted. I'm so parasocial, guys. Whoa, what is that shark? Yeah, then I was able to watch the rest of the stream. They don't know I'm watching stream. I was sitting there on my phone. And they were like, hey, you're sitting, hey, how's it going? So it's going well. And then they left. And then I spent the rest of the day doing Game Boy development at work. Because, you know, it's fine. No one was doing work anyway. You know, after a work event, everyone's just hanging out, talking to each other. Kind of real for that. I'm so real. I live alone and still wouldn't put it on the big screen. Do you have a big screen though to put things on? I don't. Nobody really works on Friday. No, this was Thursday though. I'm talking about Thursday. I live alone and I don't have a big screen. I also don't have a big screen. Have you ever thought about streaming while at work? No, I would never do that. I'd put Wolfie on the big screen, my main monitor. How many monitors do you all have? I have one. I have exactly one monitor. 3 currently. That's too many. 2. I quant 3. 5. You can't have 5 monitors. What? How is that possible? Anyway, like every streamer that I watch is main monitor content because I only have one monitor. None. You just listen to audio. The common room TV. Anyway, it was fun though. Good time. Socializing with coworkers. Ignoring my coworkers to watch VTuber. It's fun. And then what? What else did I do? What do I have in my notes? What did I write down in my notes? Presentation. Oh, another thing. It's actually kind of messed up. The presentations that we were doing, it was kind of like we were all trying to like figure out how to do a task of some sort. Like, okay, figure out how to, you know, clone this repo, run this script, generate this data, do this stuff. And I feel like 90% of the teams were like, oh yeah, we use like an AI coding assistant to help us. We saw this documentation, and we know no one reads documentation. So we asked Claude, the AI assistant, to summarize it for us. And then we said, we asked it to, like, you know, write the YAML config for us. We asked it to do this stuff. And the whole time I was just thinking, like, man, you guys can't do anything. I know that's like the trend that things are going toward nowadays. Everyone just uses AI for their work. But it was kind of messed up to just, I don't know, just weird. It's just weird, okay? I have 3 in ultra wide for gaming, 1 above the ultra wide. It has to stream on vertical for web browsing. Welcome Infinite Zero. That's so many. I tried having 2 monitors before, but like, I don't know, my brain just can't handle it. I like went back to 1 monitor. Also, welcome Sun, welcome Cow Friend. I like it for streaming a lot, having multiple monitors. I'm sure it would be useful. I just like, I technically don't have enough space on my desk for like more than 1 monitor. But even if I did, I feel like I wouldn't really want one. You need 3 monitors on your desk and also a TV off to the side. No. I've lived perfectly fine with a single monitor, and I think it's fine. Space on the desk is something you acquire by spending money on a monitor arm. Yeah, but I don't want to, though. Nothing will convince me that I need 2 monitors. Like, I'm totally fine tabbing back and forth between different apps. I think my brain is just better suited for that kind of stuff. But yeah. It was good times, you know. And then today, I guess I already talked about today. Not too much work was done because my manager was like, you don't have to do work today. It's fine. I was like, that's good because I wasn't planning on it anyway. No, I was planning on doing some work. But then once that message came in, I was like, okay, I guess I won't then. I guess I won't do work. What if you get a 50-inch single widescreen monitor? I feel like that's too big though. I don't know, because then you'd have to like look so much. You'd have to like look around a lot. I don't know. 3 monitors, 1 portrait off to the right for Discord and Spotify. But I feel like I don't usually need to have Spotify like in focus. Same thing for Discord. Like, why do I need to have Discord open all the time? I don't. If Wolfie's employer is watching the stream, he was super productive at work actually. No, I wasn't. I actually wasn't. Even if you are here, my manager, I specifically was not productive today because my manager said we should not feel pressure to do work. She was like, you know, we had a long week. If you want to log off early, you can do that. And that's what I did. So if they find an issue with that, then they got to take it up with my manager. I have a pretty big desk, 2 monitors, an art tablet. Wait, I didn't know you did. I didn't know you did art. What the heck? A CRT I can use as a monitor, and there's very little free space. I think having more than 2 or sometimes 3 screens is worse because it's distracting. That's what I think. I think multiple monitors is too much. I still use it. Oh, Foobar, Winamp. I used to use those. Not everything I listen to is on a streaming service. What's an example? Toho Music, perhaps? A little bit. Sometimes I got it cheap at a pawn shop. Drawing, you should post some art. Do I not have my game full screen? I've talked about this. I play everything through OBS. I know you did not believe this, but if you catch the end of any of my streams, if you catch the end of any of my streams, you'll see that I shut down my computer at the end of every stream. And you might be like, how does that even work? How can you shut down the computer and also stream? It's a second computer. That's right. If you'll see right here, OBS is not open. How can he have OBS not be open, right? He's not even streaming. What is this stuff? That's right, I'm playing every time I stream. I have a second PC that I have set up specifically with display capture. Sorry, display capture, I mean, what's it called? Capture card. And then I'm using OBS. Yeah, and then that's why I can see chat at the same time. I can move things around. Why do you have the most cursed streaming setup? I think it makes sense. It's worked perfectly fine. I think it's logical. Right? Because you ever notice that issue where like sometimes the streamer like will be streaming something, but they don't notice that their model is covering everything. They don't know that, you know, the chat is blocking like the most important part of the stream. Right? Since I'm using OBS, I can tell. I can be like, oh, there's a thing going on here. I can move myself, right? I can literally just do this, and then I can move around in the game. 2 PC setup is normal and it works great. See, someone agrees. Anyway, I think I missed a bunch of messages though. Also, welcome Alt Shikar. Me at work with 3 monitors, thinking that's the best amount for productivity. Actually, I do have 2 monitors at work though. But I feel like I don't really use the second monitor. I always just have like my calendar open on the second monitor, and I never actually look at it. I don't know. You're listening to the Homestuck soundtrack? Panis has a full terabyte of Toho music. It's crazy. It's so much. I think when you use multiple monitors, the best is to full screen everything to not get overwhelmed. As is things like web browsers and Discord have too many little distractions. Yeah, I'm a fan of full screening all my programs. That's just how I do things. This is so sad, can we crowdfund? I don't want a second monitor. I can afford several monitors, okay? I just choose not to get them because I have no reason to. It literally does not work for me. It's a sensible setup, but not for me. Second monitor. Sorry, playing everything through OBS. That's called having a second monitor. That's not... No. It's different. It's not... It's the same monitor. It would be a problem if you play latency sensitive games, but you never do that. Yeah, that's part of the reason as well. Is that I don't play games that care about reflexes. I don't play FPS. I don't play like pretty much anything that requires like reaction time. I don't play rhythm games. I just play games like this. Games like this, puzzle games, small indie games on itch. And it's fine. It's fine. It works great. Let's see, Russ says, honestly, God man, I'm dying. Honestly, the 2 times I've streamed, I just did it through OBS. Yeah, that's the best way to do it. Playing through OBS is a little silly. Oh man, I'm dying. Hold on, maybe I should drink water a bit early. I know I do tend to drink water at 6 p.m. But I'm going to drink water right now, 15 minutes early. All right. Let's see. Zoe says, have OBS on my 3rd monitor, game on my 1st monitor, 2nd monitor is chat/stream manager. That's too much. I think you should just do everything through OBS. That makes sense to me. The good thing is modern GPUs have capped at 4 generally, which is just enough for 3 in an HMD. Wait, GPU's capped at 4? Oh, 4 monitors? That's too many. I don't know. You don't have to flex the monitor money on... Look, I'm a software engineer in New York. who has many, many years of experience. It would be surprising if I did not have money. But I also don't spend money on anything. Because my family did not have a lot of money growing up, and I simply have become accustomed to the lifestyle of not spending money on anything. The chair that I'm sitting on, I've had it for like probably at least 20 years. It's very broken, but it still works. So that's fine. That's why I don't need a new one. It's fine. I did actually have to replace my monitor about a year ago because it literally stopped working. But that was like, I had that monitor for like probably like 15 years. Welcome Lonely Lulu. Let's see, I've seen someone try to play Elden Ring through OBS. That's what I did. I played the entirety of Elden Ring 3 times through OBS. And it was fine. I played Dark Souls Soul Level 1 playthrough entirely through OBS. And I beat all the bosses except Gwyn. I gave up on Gwyn because I just got tired of playing the game. But I beat every other boss. I beat Calamite. I beat Manus. And it was good. My old capture card has 6 seconds of latency. That's too much though. I feel like the Elgato HD60 whatever that I'm using, the latency is not that bad. It's like at most like 2 frames, which doesn't usually matter a lot of the time. I can use emotes on the overlay even though I'm not subbed. Yeah, I don't know why that happens. I don't have like 7TV or BTTV. I don't know. Sweating, skilling, or PVM is a 100 BPM rhythm game. I don't know what that is. PVM. What is PVM? 100 BPM. Sea Shanty 2? Sea Shanty. No, Sea Shanty. No, you listen to shanties. I can't believe Sea Shanty. That's not a thing. I guess you could see the sheet music, but they usually don't have that on sheet music. I remember the monitor arc. We watched Dark Souls on a 720p resolution on a backup TV. Oh yeah, that was yes. That did happen. Yes. It was when my monitor died right before I started streaming on that day. And then I had to find like a TV to use. And it was fine. And then since my workplace has like a work from home stipend that I had not used, I was like, I'm gonna order like a new monitor. And that's the one that I'm using right now. Elgato is between 60 milliseconds and 120. No, it's much faster than that, I feel like. I tried to use a capture card to play Switch on PC. Turns out I cannot play Smash through an Elgato. No, it's only like 2 to 3 frames. There was actually one time when I was at the previous place that I worked. We had like an in-office Smash Bros tournament, but it was on one of those like big screens in a meeting room, and the delay was really, really bad. It's the kind of stuff that was meant only for like, you know, displaying spreadsheets and like presentations. So it was like you would press a button, it would literally be 1 second of delay. That feels like an exaggeration, but it was actually literally 1 second between the button press and it showing up on the TV. And I feel like the people that joined the tournament that didn't usually play video games, they did not notice that it was that bad. They were just like, oh, I don't know, I guess I'm doing pretty bad today. But everyone who knew, they were like, this is literally unplayable. I lost all my matches, and I wanted to blame it on the input delay, but I didn't want to seem like a sore loser. But then the people that played slower characters had an advantage. Someone played as Bowser, and like, you know, his moves are usually pretty delayed, and they beat me. And it's like, alright, that's fine. I had the old original HD60. Before that, some random off-brand flash drive looking ones. Well, I hope the HD60 is good. Simply predict 1 second in the future. That's pretty much what you had to do. Welcome, Ranmu. Most titles are fine through the Elgato, just anything fast-paced is GG. Yeah. Oh, it's fine. I feel like they also played like Mario Kart at some point, but I could also imagine that being unplayable. I don't know. It sounds like good office culture. It was fun. This was like the pre-COVID days when everyone was like fine working from an office. And then ever since COVID happened, the entire tech industry was like, man, turns out we can actually do our jobs from home. And it's like totally, actually even better. That was good. It was good times. No more foosball. They did have a foosball table in the old office. Never coming back to the office. Yeah, and then like one of the... So like, we had coworkers from outside of New York that were visiting, and then they're like, oh yeah, where are you located? And I was like, oh, I'm actually from New York. And they're like, oh, but like, how far away do you live? And it was like, I actually live like an hour from the office. And they're like, what the? I thought people that live that far could work remotely. I was like, nope. I was hired to be remote, and then they were like, actually, you have to come in now. And then I do. Welcome, Liquid Cake. All my coworkers in New York City are so mad about having to go back to the office. It's understandable. I would simply never go back if I had the option. I can't imagine no working from office. It was not fun for me in COVID times. I can't imagine not working from office. Wait. There's too many double negatives here. You can imagine working from the office. Is that the statement? There's been a big push for return to office here too. Yeah, I feel like a lot of places are doing it. I know like people who work at like Amazon and Google, they have to do like go back to the office a lot. Do you live alone? I do not live alone. That is all I will say. I feel like I'm more productive at the office, but the only short term. Long term, it slows to a crawl, especially accounting for traffic. I feel like there are some advantages to being in the office, but only if your coworkers are also in the office. Right? So I had a conversation with one of my other coworkers where I was like, I have to come into the office 2 days a week. But actually no one on my team is even in New York. So I have to come in just to like book a meeting room to call people that are remote. And he was like, that's so stupid. And I was like, yep, that is in fact very stupid. But that's what management wants. And I have to comply with it. So that's my week, is I go into the office on Tuesday and Thursday. And then Thursdays are usually... I feel like most of the meetings are on Tuesday. Thursday is pretty meeting light usually. Hybrid is my most productive way, honestly. I need the office to keep me in check. I feel like there are some advantages to being in the office. Like when I don't enjoy commuting to the office, but when I'm actually there, I don't mind as much. Especially because they have like free food. I guess that's pretty much it. They have free food. And the food is pretty good, I guess. There's been a crackdown on return to office in the last year or two. Yeah, it's life. That's life. They're out there being like, you gotta come back. Specifically because we paid money for this building. And if we're not using it, then we're wasting money. Even though it would cost more money for people to go to the office. I don't know. I can't not imagine missing any restriction against no remote allowance. See, now you're just doing too many double negatives on purpose. I don't know what you're saying. I can't imagine missing Any restriction? I don't know. Have a better use of the floor space? I don't know. Anyone else work from home all the time? That sounds nice, right? It's much easier to slack off at home. So, you know, a streamer streaming, I can go, oh, cool, I don't have a meeting. I can just leave the stream on in the background. But then it's like harder to do that in the office. Because then people can look at your screen. You're like, what the, this guy's watching a stream? When I was like in the office like a long time ago, this was like before COVID, we would have like, it's like during the World Cup, everyone would just be watching the World Cup on their computer on a second monitor. I feel like no one really cared, because it was kind of expected. It's easier to do other things at home, like cooking or cleaning between meetings. Yeah, that's the annoying part about being in the office though, is like when I'm working from home, if I have a meeting that goes over the scheduled time, it's fine, because like I don't have to like leave the room. If I'm doing a meeting, but like I'm in the office, other people have the meeting room booked. So then if a meeting even goes like 1 minute over, there's like someone waiting outside for me, like, hey, this is my meeting room. I booked this meeting room, and you're in the room, and I'm like inconveniencing someone else. And then like if I have 2 meetings back to back, but they're in different rooms that I've booked, you know, I have to like end the meeting and then I have to be like 2 minutes late because I have to walk to the other room. I don't know, it kind of sucks. Welcome, Classic Carabel. Whoops. That's it. Definitely more productive in the office, I guess. Yeah, I feel like it's like harder to slack off in the office because there's people watching me. I think I could be very lazy if I could work from home. That's what people want you to think though. They're like, oh, if we let workers work from home, they're not going to be working, which is, I guess, true, because I do just watch Northern Lion and Vacuously stream when they're live. But like, I get a lot of good work done, right? I could also stream directly after the workday is over, because I know a lot of people, they're like, oh, I work every day, I work 5 days a week, I can't stream. But I'm like, well, I work 5 days a week, but 3 of those days I'm working remotely. So as soon as it hits 5 p.m., it's the end of my workday, I can literally just like start streaming. And it's fine, actually. It's actually perfectly good, and that's what I do. Like today, 5 p.m., I just turn on the stream and I just go live. I sure hope it does. True. Work from home can result in 2 things: underwork, overwork. I sure hope it does. Yep, that's a joke. I get different work done at home than in the office. But what kind of work, though? I feel like for some things it makes more sense to be in the office. Like, if my coworkers are in the office, it's a lot easier to, like, just have, like, a spontaneous conversation. Just turn around and be like, hey, about this thing, blah, blah, blah. Whereas, like, when everyone's remote, you have to, like, message them and be like, hey, it's, like, now a good time. Can we, like, have a meeting about this thing? And you, like, schedule a meeting, and they're like, you know, whatever. But if you're all in the office, you can see that they're not busy. Although I feel like some people find that annoying, right? If you're working from an office and people just turn around and ask you something when you're in the middle of doing something, like, I guess that could get annoying. You're like, oh, I was working on something, but you interrupted me, whatever. I did online teaching during COVID. It was so good, I honestly miss COVID. No, this guy wishes COVID was back. Cancel him. I get programming and spreadsheet work done at home. Hardware and debug done in the office. Well, I guess if you don't have like the hardware at home, that would make sense. In the office, I'm doing more collaboration, talking, more sensible face-to-face meetings. At home, I'm mostly doing stuff on my own. That also makes sense. Curbing interruptions became a big problem at a startup I was at. It's like, I guess, you know, if you're like in the middle of thinking through something and someone's just like, hey, about that project, and they interrupt your entire flow of thought, it could be annoying. But, you know, I don't know. I definitely prefer working from home. I guess another advantage of like having to go to the office is that this sounds sad, but like it gives me an excuse to go outside. Because, you know, the time when COVID was a thing, I basically like barely went outside. And then when I was forced to go back to the office, I was like, oh cool, I get to walk now. I get to like, whoa, this is what sunshine is like? That's crazy. That's mostly on you. Yeah, but like, yes, true. It's my fault. This is why you have headphones though. They are a signal. You don't even need to play stuff in them. True. It is true. I guess that's why when I was watching on Thursday when I was in the office, I was watching a thing on my phone, watching the vacuous stream. I did have my headphones on, my AirPods. And then my coworkers knew not to interrupt me. They're like, he must be doing something important. And they just waved instead of stopping by and saying hello. Imagine they interrupted my stream viewing experience. What if the streamer said something that I had to respond to? If my coworker was talking to me, then I will have missed out. I forgot what walking feels like. I still walk when I'm at home. It's like from my from my bedroom to like the kitchen and the bathroom. There's stairs. I still have stairs at home. I walk upstairs. But you know, when I have to go to the office, I do like walking. That was one thing that I did enjoy. I do have to walk a lot when I have to go to the office though, because the commute is very annoying. You have to walk at least half an hour one way. Take the train for another 30 minutes. Fortunately, my coworkers work hard. If they have a problem that needs fixing, they will ask for help. Yeah, don't you hate that? When you have a coworker that's like too eager to get work done. Like I talked about this before. It's like when you have to assign tasks to someone and they're like, okay, I'm gonna do this task, and you're like, it'll probably take you like 3 days. And then they finish in 1 day, and then they're like, okay, I'm done with this, what can I do next? And you're like, oh man, now I have to find like another thing for them to do. Can't they just like pretend that they took 3 days on this? I feel like most managers probably think the same way, right? I'm not a manager, but like there have been times when, you know, a manager was like on vacation or something and I had to be like, okay, we can, for this project, you can work on this thing. It's just like, I don't like having to spend time deciding on what people should work on. I'm like, this thing should take 3 days. And I feel like if you take less than 3 days, then feel free to just pretend to work. That's fine. Let's see, I get a lot more exercise on office days. It's hard to find the time or motivation to do 2 hours of cycling when you don't have two 1-hour cycles to do. Exactly. That's how it is. It's like, you know, you get to walk. The only bad thing is like when it's raining. It's like, you know, on the days when it's raining, I have to go to the office. I'm like, man, this sucks. There's like one time when it rained really hard in the morning and like all my clothes got drenched. And then like, I don't know, I'm just getting water everywhere in the office. They had like a blow dryer upstairs that I could use to dry off, but it was not that good. And then I was just like, I have to go home. I literally have to leave because my clothes are too wet. I hope my manager thinks like that. I feel like, I imagine a lot of managers probably, I don't know, maybe that's not true. I feel like if a manager assigns you a task and you take a shorter amount of time to do it, maybe if you're new at the company, you could be like, oh, like I'm done with this, and then, you know, they're impressed. But if you've been there for a while, I feel like it's probably better to like Just pretend like you're taking this long on a job. I don't know. When I managed people, I preferred it when they worked on whatever they wanted, which was also what I thought was good to do. Exactly. When they can decide what they want to do. That's good. As long as we're not on the critical path. Well, that's also the thing, yeah. Is if it's like a very time-sensitive thing and you have to get it done because like another team has a dependency, then maybe. But I feel like most things are not that. At least for me. Whenever I managed someone who actually needed work assigning, they also always took way longer than estimated on it. Yeah, but are you the one doing the estimate though? Then I guess maybe then you should adjust your estimate to be like, this person tends to take longer. I feel like the managers higher ups explode on them if they did that too often. I guess it also depends like on the context. I don't know. That's life. That's life. Sometimes it just depends, you know? Like this. Depends. What about depth starts? Am I right, guys? Because like end, depend has the word end in it. And like start is the opposite of end. That's a good one, right? That's a good one. Great joke, streamer. That is great. Love it. Thank you. I strive to be the funniest person to ever exist. Anyway, what else has been going on? Anything else worth talking about? No. The answer is no. Nothing's worth talking about. Whoa, what the frick? Hey, wait, you drew vacuously? Slay the Spire? She's fighting me? X tag, you drew this? It's crazy. Good art as always. No Wolfrat today. Hey, you're standing on top of the art. I can't believe this. Good. Are these based on real Slay the Spire enemies? I've never played Slay the Spire, so I don't actually know. Am I winning? Who's winning here? What are these cards? Angry, Shield, Strength, Fight. That's the bird and cultist in floor 2? The bird and cultist guys? I see. Well, I've never played, so I don't know, but I appreciate it nonetheless. Nonetheless? That's not a word. Nonetheless. 3 out of 3. What is this? 3 out of 3 energy. About to be hit with a debuff. Is this the confusion? What is this card? Is this rage? Is this block? This is block. This is shout. This is slash. It's good. It's a good one. Good as always. Okay, but then what if I casted fire? If I had fire, and then I just did this. Me playing rage. Is rage a real card though? Is that the real card? Stealing a joke. This is gonna be your legacy now. Stealing jokes. I don't actually mind. I know I'm just playing it up. I thought it was funny. I thought about it a bit. I think when I let those people choose their own time estimates, they were always so long that it wouldn't be worth paying them to do the work. Wait, hold on. They're always so long it wouldn't be worth paying them to do the work. So they would always be like, it's gonna take 5 weeks, and you're like, really? I thought it would take 2 weeks. I know you don't. Well, thank you. Just to make sure, you know? Love stealing. What's your favorite joke that you've stolen? Do I have a favorite joke that I've stolen? I don't know. Do I? Everyone, what was the last joke you stole from someone? Hawk Tua? What about, do I take notes on my jokes? Hold on. Can I find something in my notes that says joke? Joke. Ah, Vesper Noir. That's a joke that I did not steal. Vesper Noir, and yet his name has an R in it. Interesting. Interesting. In my notes, when I search for a joke, it says, oh, we talked about this on, okay, this was on 2023, April 24th. We talked about a Greek philosopher who made a joke about donkey eating figs and died laughing at his own joke. Remember that one? That happened. Stolen jokey. Exactly. About an hour ago when I said Teton, I sure hope it does. What is Teton? What the frick? What was that? Another program is using this file? What is that? National Park? I said Teton instead of Teton. The Teton Range. Yeah, Teton D's. Haha, got him. Can't believe that you fell for it. I love hard work. I could watch it all day. Or hardly working, am I right, guys? Working hard or hardly even working. Right, guys? Teton us. I got a jab for that. Teton. Welcome, Pork Foo. Welcome, Honktown. Teton. I don't know, I can't think of jokes. Hello from Japan. Whoa, what? This guy's in Japan? Are you in Tokyo right now? It's like 8 AM, right? Welcome, Old Man Diabetes. I've never worked before. Are you sure about that? He called you crazy? Hello from Japan, crazy. He wasn't talking about me. He was talking about chat. I'm not sure. I feel like you would know. If you worked before, I think you would know. Is anyone working right now? I hope not. Actually, no. Yeah, people are working. It is still work hours in California. Probs Not Jack is still working. Or hardly working. Am I right, guys? When the cha is hot, you can use tongs to pick it up. I get it. Tongs? Tongs? Great one. I need to do some debug and spreadsheet work. Spreadsheet work, I sure hope it does. Right? Working on getting cozy in bed. Good times. Good times out there. Sleeping. I'm working right now, waiting for stupid CI to run. Is it GitHub Actions? Is it GitLab? What is this image, Zoe? What is that? Is that your office? No, you don't have an office. Wait, what is this? What is this image? Add a browser source. What is it? The water cooler? Oh, that's Vac. Oh, you drew me. Is that me watching Vac? Is this fan art of me in the office? This is not what my office looks like. I guess there is no way that you would have known. Yes. It's a water cooler. You got people in suits. They don't do that. Can't believe this is so inaccurate. I can't believe you don't know what my office looks like. Anyway, thanks for the art though. Can you recommend me anything to do while I'm here? I have a list, but In Japan, I don't know. Anyone have Japan recommendations? I feel like whenever I go to Japan, it's just like hang out with my friends, you know? I'm not really there to like see things, I guess. I don't know how to put it. Mount Fuji. You could go to something. Go to gaming arcades every day. Yeah, yeah, hang out with my friends, yeah. Hang out with my friend who lives in Japan. And then they'll be like, who is this guy? I don't know him. Yeah, Tokyo Game Show. California. Imagine living in California. It's a massive internal system. Ghosts from behind the wall will just answer back no sometimes. The CI. Also, welcome Isurugi Miyosama. Couple guys have a nice water cooler gab. We don't have a water cooler. The water is dispensed from, I don't even know what to call it, a machine. A different machine. If you're in Tokyo, you can try to go to the sushi fish market at 4 a.m. The, which market was that one? It used to be Tsukiji fish market, right? But it's like a different one now. You can watch them buy the fish and then buy the freshest sushi possible. But what if you could just, you just go to a sushi place? Did Tsukiji close? I think it's different now though, right? I think it's like, yeah, like moved somewhere else. But then like Tsukiji is still open, but it's more like that's not where they actually sell the fish. I don't know. Enjoyed Lake Kawaguchi, Nikko, and Enoshima. Enoshima is cool. Every time I go to Enoshima, we go to Enoshima Spa. I feel like that's the only thing we do there. I've never been outside of Enoshima Spa. We only go there and we go to the spa for the entire day. But that's fun, right? It was good times. I've been there like twice, I think. Good times. I do have an old VOD. I have 3 VODs where I talked about my 3 Japan trips. If you, for whatever reason, feel like watching a really old Wolfie VOD, you can just search for these 3 videos. Japan. Look at this. Look, anyone recognize this place? Did anyone watch K-On? This is the school from K-On. It even says this is the one with the K-On school. Surely the 4th VOD will talk about my 4th Japan trip, the one that hasn't happened yet. Yo, Japan, guys, it's Japan. I can't. It turns out I can't watch the video. It's because I'm on VPN, and it's like, you can't be watching these videos without signing in. I only watch VODs. No, why would anyone here watch VODs? I watch VODs. I usually don't watch VODs. But I did watch the VOD of the stream where Vax stole my joke. It was an 8-hour stream. And I watched at 4x speed. the parts that I missed. And I know she said multiple times at the start of the stream that she came up with the joke. And I was like, that's not true. Spa Jason, I normally shave my head NL style, but maybe it would be nice to pay someone else to do it. In Japan, just be like, bald, please. Bald desu. Welcome, Sheriff Pumpkin. Or because you're a bot and can't pass the check. No, I have to sign in. And I don't want to sign in. Did the K-On! School have the statue of the guy? Which guy? I'm not really a real K-On! Fan. I've said this before. I've watched like 8 episodes of the first season and I never finished it. And you're like, but Wolfie, then why do you go to the K-On! School? No, it was the person that I was with in Japan. She was like, I would like to go to the K-On! School. And I was like, alright. And then we went. He's not a bot, he's a Walfaz. Welcome Snacko Racco, thank you for the 6 months in advance, 33 months. You were the best, thank you. Thank you for your kind words. There was a bust of the founder or something that appeared in random outside shots. I don't know, maybe. I mean, you could watch the VOD, you could watch this video right now. And confirm. You could also watch this one. Oh, okay, can I talk about this? the Caesarea shrimp? It's an interesting one. They, the sauce is actually a scam. It's a thing that I've talked about many times before. If you ever get the popcorn shrimp from Caesarea, you'll note that the sauce looks like there's a lot of sauce, but it's actually not. It's actually, you would expect a sauce container to be like this, and the sauce is here, but actually, it's like this, and the sauce is here. Yes, it's a scam. They make it look larger than it is. I still want Wolfie to go on another trip so he can tell us about his trip. I don't know. Imagine going places. Also, everywhere there's a hype train, guys. Hype train. Can someone post your sub renewal right now? Can we get people to renew? Just you can already renew. You can just post your renewal because there are new hype train emotes. And these ones are actually pretty good, you know? A lot of them are not that good, but I feel like the new ones they've added, I don't know if I would use them necessarily, but I like them. Thank you, Choco Jacks. Thank you, Yuko. Welcome as well. See that one? Look, that one's good. Me Sweat. It seems good. We need one more person. Just one, guys, just one more. Please. I hope the new emote is Poro, but he's sad. Did you all know that Poro was from League of Legends? Also, thank you, Stove God, for the subscription. Okay, let's go. We have enough. You can stop now. But I did not know that Poro was a League of Legends character until last week. That's why I freaking hate it. I didn't know. I had no basis for hating it. I wanted to get this one, but it gave me some junk like that. That one seems fine, I think. Yippee. Technically, but I barely think about Poros. If I do think of Poros, it's usually to feed them cookies so they explode. Is that what happens in League of Legends? I don't know. I don't really know anything about League. They got bot lane, they got jungle, they got ARAM. ARAM? What about VRAM? What about RAM in general? On the Howling Abyss? I don't know what that is. Thank you, Liquid Cake, for the subscription. Rem to Ember? League of Legends? What is everyone's favorite thing about League of Legends? Nothing. That's right, nothing. No one remembers the Twisted Tree Line. I don't know what that is. You're not playing it? It's true. I do not play League. League of Legends. More like it should be illegal. Illegal Legends. Right, guys? A League of Legends. More like it should be illegal. Illegal, guys. I don't know. My favorite thing about League of Legends is not ever having played it. No one recalls the Crystal Scar. I certainly don't. I don't know what that is. Any fans of jungle? Any fans of bot lane? Feeding the creeps? Mobs? No? Okay. Bro, the Crystal Scar. I missed the minion a little bit. I don't know. Is that Lion King? The Crystal Scar? Is that someone's OC? Is that, you know, Scar from Lion King? What if he was made of crystal? And then he says, "Long live the king." And then Crystal Simba or whatever like falls down. I don't know. Wouldn't that be funny, guys? Any fans of comedy in the chat? I always play jungle. No. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you had to deal with that. Jungle. Big comedy fan. I hate laughter. What's everyone's favorite comedy? Your favorite joke that you've ever heard of all time? What would mine be? I don't even know. What would my favorite joke be that I've ever heard? When was the last time I truly laughed, like really hard at a joke? I honestly don't know. I'm not sure. What was the last joke you all laughed at? You're like, ah, this joke is so funny. Let me check my notes again. Joke. If I search for joke specifically. Don't say your joke, streamers trying to steal them. No, that would never happen. Probably something still Polka or something Vac said. Vac is really funny though. But then how many of her jokes are stolen? It's too crude for this wholesome chat. What if you summarize it in a way that is safe for all of us? Setting up ganks as jungle brought me great joy. I'm so sorry to hear that. So sorry to hear that you've had enjoyment playing League. Oh man. What is this emote? Frog Wow? We got Frog Wow? Everyone, Frog Wow? Oh, Batter Up is a pretty good one. Wolf, you should get us all into Dota. I've never played Dota. Why would I be the one to get you into Dota? I've never even played a MOBA. I had joy and it disappeared. It's because you were playing League. Let's play Dota 2. No. No, no. Dota. So what I got by I already had. What is this one? Sway. Chill Girl. I feel like I probably won't use most of the hype train emotes. I feel like of all the hype train emotes, the only one I really use is Gritty Goose. Sometimes I feel like of ones that are useful, sometimes I use the mashing one occasionally. Sometimes Batter Up is relevant. Oh, Hype Sleep. Hype Sleep. This one's actually, this is probably the best one. Hype Sleep. These are nice though. Oh yeah, Fall Damage I use sometimes. Miss, I feel like I don't use that one, but I could see it being relevant a lot of the time. There's some, you know. Gritty Goose, they'll never make a better one than this. Yeah, it's truly one of the best ones of all time. I don't know. But the new clapping one they have is pretty good, right? Does anyone have that one? The level 5 clapping emote that was just, yeah, that one's pretty good. I like that one. When are they gonna commission me? How do you even how do they even do it? Do they contact people? Do I be like, hey Twitch, can I make hype train emotes? How? What is the process? I hope they make gritty Canadian Goose. They would never. They hate Canada. I only use the prize one. Personal best. That's a good one. I feel like the ones, yeah, the ones of these animals are good. Like Batter Up. This one's good. Do you know any Twitch employees? Are we not all Twitch employees though? As we stream on this website? I guess not. I guess we're contractors. I don't know. No, I personally do not know any Twitch employees. But I did follow Twitch. I did follow them on Twitter in case they wanted to DM me. Because I know it's impossible to DM me. Because if anyone wants commissions from me, it's actually impossible to contact me. And that's by design. It's because I don't do commissions. But, you know, they'll stalk. They'll be like, how do I contact this guy? They'll go on Pixiv. They'll message me on Pixiv. They'll like find my alt Twitter, message me on alt Twitter. Because that one has DMs open. They'll go on, they'll join the Discord server. Can I commission you to not do something? No. No. It's actually quite easy. They have to join your Discord and sub. They don't have to subscribe. They can just join because I have DMs open for people that are in the server. That's the end of that info though. Nothing fruitful has come of this friendship. Wait, for what? Oh, the Twitch employee that you know? I'll never get the rare Wolfie commission. You just have to wait for the rare occasion when I do drawing redeem stream. That's when you got one of your emotes, right? Snacko, the raccoon one, whatever. Can I commission a picture of Wolf's sit facing left while playing a Game Boy? No. No, you can't. Can I commission you to go on a trip? You cannot. Yeah, there it is. Remember that one? Passport 2-3. Nah. I already got it. Me facing left while playing a game. Oh, you mean this one? This one that I drew? No. This was drawn for me. For me specifically. For me? Isn't that the Paradox guy? For me? From the For me Paradox. What about the For You Paradox? This guy's so freaking... What's the word? When you keep everything to yourself. He's so selfish. For me, who is the most selfish? Was he a scientist? I don't even know. Philosopher? For me. It's everything's for me. What about for you? I wish to commission Wolf's rat to become a reality. A real rat. Well, thankfully rats are in fact real. They do exist. They exist in the real world. And I think that's neat. Just like us, all of us exist in the real world. Although you may just be text on a screen, you are out there somewhere. Probably. I don't know, you might not be real. But I'm sure many of you are real. Probably most of you. And that you are not just figments of my imagination. Well, if he could own a rat? No. Taking care of a pet is too much effort. I don't think I would. But you could. You could have a rat. You could take care of it. You're all real to me. You know what else is real? This. This can reel in right now. Real? You know what else is real? Oh shoot. That right there, that's real. Real. Oh, I forgot to talk about this. There's one time I was on the subway, and I'm pretty sure the person next to me was listening to a real song. Real. Real, the artist, the musical artist known as Real. I couldn't hear entirely, but it sounded like a real song that I knew. And I was like, wait, I know that song. And I did not say, I did not go, hey, I know that song. Because I don't talk to people on the train. But I'm pretty sure it was that. I thought that was cool because I had never seen anyone listen. I guess you can't really see people listening to things. I guess you can. I don't know what I'm saying. Words? Anyone know words? What is a word that you're aware of? You ever see people listening to music and like go, hey, I know that song. And you point at their phone and be like, that's a song, I know that song. Bro, that's my favorite song. Whoa, what the Game Boy? That's me on the Game Boy right there. The Game Boy DMG, the classic Game Boy. The Game Boy. You even have the dithering. Look at that, the dithering. It's literally built in. It's literally right there. I have screenshotted it. It's a good one. Anyway, anything else happening of interest? Anything worth talking about? Do I have anything in my notes that is worth talking about? Salad? Anyone have a salad recently? I had salad. Oh, I purchased a broom with exact change. Has anyone purchased anything using cash and used exact change? Isn't that such a satisfying feeling? When you're like there and it's like, oh, it'll be you know, $10.68. And then you go, yep, here is exactly $10.68. And then they count it and they go, yep, you're all good. Classic GameBoy.dmg. No. Happens all the time, still feels good. I tend to go, oh, I think I have it. Yeah, I usually, like, what I do, I did this on, actually yesterday. I was, like, in a store and they had, like, I needed to buy a broom. And they had them in the back. But I didn't want to be, like, you know, I had the change in my bag. And I didn't want to, like, spend, like, a minute looking for it when I was at the register. So then I went through my bag. I took out all my coins. I took out the calculator app on my phone. Since I knew the sales tax in New York, I put in the price on the name tag. Sorry, the price tag. And then I said, okay, what's $9.99 times 0.08875? I missed an 8 in there, so I was actually 2 cents off. And then when it came time to pay, they were like, it's gonna be $10.68, and I only had $10.66 in my hand. And then I dug around in my pocket, and I was like, oh, actually, I have another 2 cents. And it was good, and I used up so many of my coins. I had a lot of pennies left, but then after that payment, I only have 4 pennies left. And that's good. I haven't paid anything with cash except for haircuts. That is true. I do also pay for haircuts with cash. I have a bundle of coins and my hobby is to walk to the local supermarket at work to buy lunch, usually ramen. then store it at my cube. You can buy ramen with coins. Why haircut specifically? I feel like all the haircut places I've been to don't accept card. So like it would make sense that it has to be cash. One French fry, 10.68. In this economy, it's crazy. I'm hearing these numbers and visibly cringed. Yeah, unfortunately the US doesn't include tax in their prices, so you don't know how much you're paying until you actually go to the cash register. What if you discovered they were cheating you out of 1 cent? I would be fine with it. There was actually one time when I think I paid an extra $1. You know the thing where like if you have a thing that costs like, you know, 56 or something, right? And you have a $10 bill, you know that if you pay the $10, you will get $4 and change, right? Whereas if you paid $11, you would get a $5 bill back and some change, right? And so usually when I pay this thing, if I know I can pay an extra $1 to get less bills, I will do it. I'll give them 11 and they'll give me back a 5. And this I pay 10.56. Yeah, but that's if I have the coin. If I don't though, I'll give 11. And you get less back. But then I think one time I did that, and I think the person forgot to give me the extra, whatever the extra was going to be, and I did not notice until I left the store. And then by the time I left, I was already far enough away that I was like, whatever, it's not worth going back for the $1. I also don't have proof that they gave me like $1 less than they were supposed to. Whatever, I lost $1 that day. Also, the ice cream truck is outside. Anyone want ice cream? I thought they were getting rid of pennies and rounding everything to 5s. I wish. I wish they would do that. I don't know when they're going to do it, if ever. I was the person that stole Wolfie's $1. I can't believe this. Can we cancel this guy? Can we get this guy out of here? One ice cream. Okay, what flavor? Vanilla. Chocolate, strawberry. Orange man promised to get rid of pennies, but honestly you can't trust any of bro's words. So true. Droopy SpongeBob, I don't know if they have that anymore. Ice cream truck, another cash business, also true. Ice cream trucks do tend to take cash. Wasn't there like a thing like in the UK where there was like some girl who was like trying to buy ice cream but they only accepted card? And then she went off and there was like, oh, look at this British girl, she's saying he doesn't even accept cash or whatever. Getting rid of pennies would be a good thing at the end of the day. I think so. Why even have pennies? Society. Strawberry. When was the last time you all had ice cream? From like an ice cream truck. Specifically. For me, it was actually on May 15th, 2025. From a truck a decade and a half ago. It is some time ago. She was super cute, has all of our collective rage. Wait, what was this about? Oh, the British girl who complained about card only. 2 weeks ago, what was the flavor though? Soft serve. The summer of 1957? I don't think so. I think you made that up. Although your username is Old Man Diabetes, I don't believe that you're actually that old. Now, you could be. I would have no way to really know. But I would believe that you're not actually someone who was alive in 1957. You used to live across or above an ice cream parlor or across the street technically. Docs, location docs, find every ice cream parlor and find every apartment or whatever. It's crazy. You gotta believe me. Okay, what happened? What was your favorite event from 1957 that you can remember? Do you think there are really any chatters around here today that were alive in 1957? I don't think so. I find it quite hard to believe. All right. Hey everyone, what was your birth year? Hey everyone, can you dox your age? I could see if my grandma's still awake and get her in here. Why would you wake her up for a stream? You're like, hey grandma, a streamer it's talked about chatters being alive in 1957. I'm 32. That's good. We need more chatters above the age of 30. The ice cream of 1957, was it different back then though? Was ice cream better or worse? Do you think society has improved in terms of ice cream creation since then? Grandma's only age docs, grandma confirmed. That's like a Dark Souls thing. Dark Souls noun verbed. Grandma confirmed. Bonfire lit. Grandma confirmed. It had cocaine in it. No, it's ice cream? I don't think so. Quest catch fish in the rain complete. Yo, let's go. Look at that. Whoa, what the heck? Who's that? That's me. Is that me? He looks so angry. Why he's so angry though? Oh, as soon as I screenshot it, it has gotten dark. Okay, if I stand here, it's not going to be as dark. I could dox my grandma's age, but is there really a point to this? No. There is no point. You should not dox your grandma's age. Because that could be a security question. They could ask, what year was your grandma born? And then it's up to you to determine which grandma. The first one or the second one. Or even more. You might even have more than 2 grandmas. Or fewer. Or perhaps even negative grandmas. How would that work exactly? I don't know. But you could know. You could in fact know. I don't know the actual birth year of grandma number 2. That's fine. I don't really need to know. It's just a bit. It's just a bit that we do sometimes. It's inconsequential information. Hey you all, you want to see some Rust code? Look at this. I wrote some Rust code for Game Boy. Not for Game Boy, but specifically to process ASprite files. Isn't that cool? Speaking of ice cream, they started putting up ice cream vending machines? How? Actually, my elementary school had an ice cream vending machine, which like at the time I didn't think it was anything special, but now that I look back on it, I'm like, what the frick? My elementary school had an ice cream vending machine? I feel like you never see that. I don't think I've seen that anywhere like else. It wasn't even like that fancy of a school. Or like fancy at all, but they had an ice cream vending machine. It's a fridge outside, true. This guy has 2 grandmas. I don't know. Elementary schoolers carrying cash for vending machines? Yes. I feel like everyone had cash on them. The messed up part was also that school lunch cost money. At least for people that didn't have, like, I don't know what it's called. Like, school lunch was not free for everyone, which is messed up. I remember, well, my family was not rich enough to have to, like, for me to get, wait, what am I saying? I had vouchers because my family did not have enough money, so I didn't have to pay for school lunch. But I know many other people did. And you would bring cash to school to pay for lunch. It was kind of messed up. I was on a welfare program and got free lunch at school. Same. Literally same. But I think now school lunch is free for people in New York. At least from what I heard. Which is good, right? It's like if a kid has to be in school, shouldn't their food be, like, you know, provided by our tax money or whatever? I don't think I ever ate lunch in elementary school. Never? You went through the entire school day, did not have lunch? That's crazy. I don't know. Anyone eating food right now? Imagine our taxes funding things that make life nicer instead of funding the war. Guys, I can't believe. Ate some lentils. That's good. Lentils. What about something? Lentils? Thinking of vending machines make me wonder if I should get some ice cream. Isn't it really late over there though? If you ate ice cream right now, wouldn't that be bad? 1 a.m. I ate worse things. What's an example though? Oh, so pork food, why did you say it's really cool about his lentils? Was it actually really cool? Or are you being sarcastic? Or is this a bit? Is this a thing that he talks about on his stream? He's always talking about lentils? Lentils? Isn't that the Kagamine twin? The boy? The Vocaloid who's a boy? The blonde one? I want ice cream, but I would have to get it delivered now. No, it doesn't make sense. Ice cream doesn't usually have liver in it. It doesn't make sense that you would need to deliver it. Isn't that weird though? That to remove a liver could be described as deliver, and yet delivery is different. It's like a different word. He's always talking about his lentils, bro. What's he doing? Grimmy talks about lentils a lot. Well, what about them though? In a positive light or a negative one? Or neutral? +2, thank you. Delivery could be a place where they deliver things. Well, yo, what if Death Stranding? If they had Death Stranding 2 or 3, if they had Death Stranding 3, and people thought it was gonna be, you know, the usual delivery game, but actually he works at a butcher shop and he removes liver from animals. What if Death Stranding 3? Kojima, can you get on this? It'll subvert everyone's expectations. Oh boy, can't wait to do delivery. And then they remove the liver. I mean, liver's tasty. Yeah, you can remove it to eat it though. You remove it to clean it. to separate it from the other parts. Why delivery and not unlivery? Because that wouldn't make sense. You're like, the liver still exists. You're just removing it. It's like D is like one of those prefixes. You know, that's how words work. Words work. I sure hope. That doesn't even make sense as a joke. Welcome, Hamflow. Delivery. Also, has anyone noticed this about my noted emote? I don't know if anyone has noticed. Is that when you write on a piece of paper, you typically don't write on a paper without a clipboard or something. You ever tried drawing on a piece of paper that is lined paper without any sort of support? It doesn't work. It's actually kind of messed up. It's like, you know, the pencil then pokes through the paper. It doesn't work. It's just really strong paper. No. I assumed it's really thick, but like lined paper usually doesn't work like that though. A clear, oh yeah, that's what it, yeah, a clear clipboard, yes. That's definitely what it is. Welcome, Brainset. Yes, of course. That was my intent, obviously. But you know, it doesn't work. It simply is illogical. You could not be doing that stuff. Money Bank Streamer can afford paper. Alright, when was the last time you've all written on a piece of lined paper? Or even graph paper? Grid paper, perhaps. I don't remember the last time I wrote on lined paper. Also, why did they call it college ruled paper? Was it specifically, I can just look it up. Why is it called college rule paper? College ruled paper? College ruled paper? No, it doesn't make sense. Paper is not something that you could rule over. Why is lined paper called college ruled? Today, grid, like a week ago, summer 57, I don't think so. Lined, I don't really like that, but it did the other month. I write on blank pages. You can have blank pages that have lines. But I know what you mean. They should call it college sucks. College ruled. Note how it was in past tense though. What is the reason? Inventor John Tetlow patented a device that the British government described as a machine for ruling paper. Oh wait, lined paper was made for music? I guess that makes sense. And other purposes. Since then, ruled paper has evolved quite a bit. Wide ruled and also college ruled. But why? College ruled paper is named because it's what older students generally use. Most of them have graduated from wide ruled to medium ruled sheets. That's stupid. They call it, wait, they really just call it college ruled because it's what older people used? Ruled paper. College. Medium ruled or college ruled. Had 9 out of 32 inch spacing between horizontal lines. A vertical margin drawn about 1 1/4 inches on the left-hand edge. Its use is very common in the United States. But is it not commonly used outside the US then? There appears to be no British standard. Line spacing for adult ruled paper? What the frick? Adult ruled paper? Squared maths paper. British people be like maths. Anyway, I'm gonna drink water. It is in fact 7 p.m. A good time to hydrate. Someone is trying to join. I will accept your attempt to join. All right, I have done it. I have successfully hydrated. Everything is good. Anyway, what else is going on? I feel like I haven't streamed in so long that my voice feels like it's not used to talking for like 3 hours. Does anyone get that? Hamflow, are you streaming today? Hamflow also hasn't streamed in a long time. But he said he was going to. Now I, for reasonable reasons, have my doubts. He did say I should be good to stream Dark Souls 2. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know about that. See, I knew it. He's gonna sleep and then he's gonna be, oh, sorry guys, I couldn't stream because I'm sleepy. Welcome, NanoDan. Twitch lets you rewind now. I think it's tied to being subbed. You can be subscribed or you can have Twitch Turbo. I got that notification. It's like, hey, you have Twitch Turbo, so you can rewind now. I feel like it never really mattered because you could always rewind. Fun tip, if you did not already know, if you want to watch a part of a VOD of a stream that is currently live without the rewind functionality, you just click on their videos tab and they have a VOD that is their current stream. And you could go back as much as you want. And I would say that view is even better because you can click on chat messages and it'll jump you to the timestamp that the chat message was said. They don't have that for the rewind functionality, though I feel like they could. But they don't. You gotta keep up your talking reps. I would, but I have not. Because I've not been streaming. Isn't that only if they have auto-published VODs? I guess most people do. So I haven't really had a condition, a case where I had to watch or scroll back in someone's VOD that did not have auto-published VODs. NanoDan doesn't? I thought he did. I'm pretty sure he does. Doesn't he? If you go on NanoDan's channel, does he not have his VODs on there? I'm pretty sure he does. NanoDan_/videos. No, that's there. It's there. Does he manually publish them? The VODs are there. Exactly. I don't know. You have to wait a whole day. Oh, I see. I guess I've never really needed to scroll back. They've been auto for a while. Yeah, Hamflow, what are you talking about? Bro doesn't even know. He's stuck back in the days of 2020, whatever. What is the most recent VOD I've watched? I already answered that though. It's Vacuously's stream where she stole my joke and I missed the beginning. Like fully? Yeah, I watched the full thing at 4x speed. Well, at least the parts that I missed. The parts that I didn't catch live, I watched the whole thing. You're like, what the frick, Wolfie? 4x speed? Yes, 4x speed. And you're like, oh, but Twitch only lets you go up to 2x speed. I have a thing that can set it to 4x speed. I was manually uploading for a while till I turned it on few weeks. Oh, it's only been a few weeks. Well, that explains it then. Foley? No, it's no Foley. No, it's called FLCL. Foley Cooley? No. I don't think so. Plus, did you all know FLCL is called Fooly Cooley? You can tell someone's not a real fan if they say FLCL instead of Fooly Cooley. But I'm also not a real fan. I've never watched the show or know anything about it, other than that's how it's pronounced. And that's cool. Fool me all Cooley style? What did he mean by this? It was a fun anime. I went back to watch it, but it doesn't hit the same. I'm sure a lot of anime is like that. Is there any anime that like really did not age well? You go back and watch it and you're like, man, you're telling me people used to watch this? I don't know, I can't think of one. My friends keep saying you can't just keep saying words. Words have meaning. What did they mean by this? What word were you saying? Oh, because of things like fool me all Cooley style? You can't just be saying stuff, okay? Imagine just saying words. Can't. You literally cannot. Those kinds of things and using edge definitions for words? I see. Under work, I sure hope it does. Things like that. Ham flow jokes where he's like, A something. What about B through Z something? Things like that. Cheeseburger. What about Beesburger? That doesn't make sense. Guys, what if instead of cheeseburger, it was Beesburger? That sounds like a B movie joke. Jerry Seinfeld be like, Jerry Seinfeld be like? He sure was. Jerry Seinfeld be like? Yeah, that's what the lady from B movie was. Jerry Seinfeld be like, what if instead of cheeseburger, it was a Beesburger? Right, guys? So true. I think what broke them was when we were playing League and I wanted them to re-engage in a fight, so I said go back into the fight. Go back into the fight? What? Go back? What? I don't get it. Into the fight was silent? You said go back, but like what does that mean? Would that not be implied to go back to the fight? They were disengaging? Oh, they thought you meant to like... No, I think that's not... I don't know. I feel like that's not the same thing though. It was them misunderstanding. I feel like I would have understood. I would be like, okay, go back to what you were doing rather than going back to base or whatever, right? This guy gets a college degree, starts rejecting societally accepted foundations of verbal communication. I like that no one laughed at my Beesburger joke or my Jerry Seinfeld be like, which is fair. Not every joke lands. Some jokes they fly. Isn't that crazy? When jokes land, but some of them go on the ocean, some of them sail. Beesburger. Cheeseburger. I don't know. Alright, we were talking about anime. Yeah, anime that hasn't aged well. Any of that stuff. Beesburger? Bees. No, the bees, guys, the bees. Has anyone seen a bee recently? I've seen a bee. It was in the backyard. A 5-star lead, a lead sichthys? Is that the name of the fish? Lead sichthys? Yeah, lead sick. Lid. Congrats though. It's a good one. It only shows up in the rain, and it's huge. Maybe anime has aged fine. It's just you, me, all of us that haven't aged well. No. That's not true. What the frick? You see that? That's it right there. It's crazy. 2 in a row. I managed to see it right now on stream. I don't think I've watched anything that aged poorly. I just know that I age out of certain shows myself, like Origairu. Origairu. I might have aged out of. I watched like the first 2 seasons of that one. And honestly, I don't remember anything about it. If you asked me to name anything that happened in that show, I'd be like, I don't know. There's like one episode when they were like in a bamboo forest or something. That's the only thing I remember of the show. I don't think I got it when I was first watching it. Now I'm too old to resonate. Yeah, also the fact that so much anime is about like high school. Right? Like everything's about high schoolers. There should be more anime about people like in their 30s. I think that would be good. That would be good. Where's the anime for me, specifically? Where's the anime for hangs? Hint, hint, it's for children? What, you mean anime? That's not true at all. I feel like most consumers of anime, the biggest demographic for anime is like people in their 20s and 30s. Now, there is anime specifically targeted at children, but I feel like most anime is not that necessarily. I also want more anime for older people. Can't wait until they adapt the manga about the old man smoking behind the supermarket. But don't they know smoking is bad? Where's the anime about the 30-something-year-old office worker who streams? I feel like that one about being a gangster house husband is hack friendly. Yeah, that one's an anime about older people. Gretsuko, I did not watch that, but you know, I feel like, yeah, that would be in the same sort of category. Smoking behind the supermarket? I would never smoke. It's not bad if you're smoking fish. What about smoked cheese? Anyone remember smoked cheese? The classic Haruhi spin-off manga about Tsuruya, where she enjoyed smoked cheese. Your own. I remember. Remember when people only really watched like 3 anime? Haruhi, Lucky Star. That was it. Smoked. I also have this really big one. Where's the big fish? Where the fish at? It was never just 3. What the frick? That's huge. Amazing. There's some high school anime where you just watch it. It's more like watching children grow up. What's an example? There's never just three. Where's the Madoka mention? Meduka become Meguka. Remember? 64 meters. What the frick? That's crazy. Meguka. Remember, Frozen Maiden? Remember Desu? Haha, Desu. That's the one with the green and red eyes. First thing coming to mind is Project Sekai, but that's not an anime. March comes in like a line is one. I've never watched that one. Sometimes watching grow up is the most hang activity of all. Watching grow up. Any fans of anime? Desu, the one with green eyes? No, she had green and red. Shinku, exactly. How popular was Spice and Wolf? I don't know. I feel like it depends on who you talk to. I don't know. Actually, someone, yeah, one of my coworkers talked about Spice and Wolf at some point. I think the last time we had like an on-site gathering, he was talking to like some other coworker about anime that he was watching, and he was like, "I've gotten to anime recently. There's this one called Spice and Wolf. It's very thought-provoking. It's about like economics. You really wouldn't expect, you know, some really deep, you know, economic theory to be in anime, but it's actually, I think it's pretty enlightening." And I was like, this freaking guy and his economics. And I was like, I've heard about that one. Wasn't there an anime called East of Eden? Probably. East of Eden These. Got him. Got him. Can't believe you fell for it. This talk about anime, I can't even talk. He messed up the joke. This talk about anime was simply to get a chatter to mention East of Eden for me to make that joke. And you fell for it. You should be proud. Proud that you have enabled a joke. A joke that is probably not even funny, but appreciated nonetheless. You ever think about the word nonetheless? Do people ever say none the more? It's always been nonetheless. Nonetheless. None. What if it was none, like the Catholic thing? What is it? What's that called? If you go far enough east of Eden, you'll eventually end up west of Eden. No, that depends. What if you're in space? What if you're not on a spherical planet? Or something that loops around? Right? But I guess if you're in space, is there even a concept of what is west and what is east? I guess there probably is, right? What does a compass work in space? Because like the compass points toward like the Earth's magnetic poles, right? North. But then like if you're in space, is there even there is no north, south, east, west? It doesn't exist. More so, nonetheless. Nevertheless, no, nonetheless though. Compass and north are tied to Earth's magnetic poles. Exactly. Nonetheless. There is a raven that often doth quote nevermore. Kind of the same. Nonetheless, nevertheless. I guess that makes sense. Wait, but then if, okay, so if in space there's no like cardinal directions, How do you like north, south, east, west in space? I never thought about this. Planets revolve around the sun, directions, something, hemispheres. Did this answer my question at all? You could orient the entire plane of the solar system. What? I can't. This is too much. I can't read. How do astronauts determine where they are exactly? It's arbitrary. Why would they not simply answer the question? The Deep Space Network. Interstellar navigation. Spherical coordinate system around the sun. Coordinates from objects. In sci-fi, Star Trek, they navigate ships with heading and Z-plane direction. Interesting. French people be like, Z-plane direction, am I right, guys? Z-plane direction. Yep. Good one, Wolfie. How do direction work in space? Is there direction in space? Wolfie can't read. I cannot even read. How do direction work in space? Combination of sensors. French zipplane. Okay, wait, we were talking about at some point, like, good jokes that we've heard. I feel like one of the most recent jokes that I've heard that I've enjoyed was on Chibley stream, where he asked someone if they like Dragon Ball Z. And they said yes, and he was like, Dragon the balls, you know? Dragon the balls, like a D-Nuts joke. Yeah, that's right. Dragon the balls. That was funny. I doubt things like the sun even exist in fixed points of space. Is the sun also moving? A lot? Good joke, I think so. Dragon the balls. Dragon the balls. The sun is moving. Well, what about the daughter, though? The sun is moving, and yet the daughter is expected to stay. I can't believe this. Everyone's moving away. Everything is moving. If it didn't seem to be its perspective, so true. It's a metaphor for life, you know? Even if you think you're staying in the same place, you're moving. The earth is rotating and you're on the earth, therefore you are moving. The daughter's recuperating? What about regular recuperating though? Is that a thing? There's no regular recuperate. You can only recuperate. You can't even recuperate the first time. I doubt even things like black holes are completely stationary. But how could you possibly be able to tell? Yeah, right? It really makes you think. There's like a lot of things that we just don't know. Some people think they know, but it's just a theory. A game theory. More like a lame theory, am I right? More like lame theory. What are we doing? Maybe in advanced space travel, our maps will be moving. Like knowing altitude correctly with sensors requires knowing the local air pressure. Space travel will need a solar system reference point. Yeah, what if it was the sun? You know, the solar system. Everything revolves around the sun. At least in our solar system. But what about if you leave the solar system? There's like a different sun out there. Man. Do you ever think about the vastness of space? The fact that there's aliens probably out there. And if there aren't, that's even scarier. Isn't that scarier? The fact that if there's no aliens out there is scarier than if there were aliens? That of this entire vast universe, that we are the only life? That's fricked up. In a way that means navigating relative to stars, the ship captains of old will be what's best. Yeah. Space. Space is pretty cool. Would you ever go to space? If someone offered you, like, if there was like space travel was commercialized so that regular people could go without training, would you do it? I would not do it. You would do it? I feel like I have no interest in going to space. What if the universe was finite and had things like its own magnetic north? That's too much to think about. That's too much. I can't consider the possibility of this. That means aliens aren't going to sneak up on you while exploring? Yeah, but you don't think it's scary though? If like the Earth is the only place in the entire universe where there is any life? Signal triangulation. Lighthouses. It's weird they call them lighthouses when actually they're like pretty heavy. They're meant to be stationary and like large. I don't think they're light at all. That's what matters to navigate means to know how far or close you are to a point of interest. I'm in collinear flight between Milky Way and Andromeda. Andromeda, isn't that the sci-fi Star Trek Andromeda? I feel you'd gain a lot of perspective, but I would need some kind of window for it to be worth it. I would assume there would be a window. Like, if you would go to space and, like, not be able to see outside, then, like, what's the point? I mean, I guess you could be like, oh, it's fun, you know, to experience zero gravity or whatever. To eat, like, astronaut food. But if you can't see outside, then it's like, why even go up there, right? I don't know. Black holes and moving black holes should be our biggest fear currently in space. But what if there were aliens? What if there were no aliens? Use magic to go faster than light. That's actually impossible. Isn't it messed up though? That if you have two things moving apart at the speed of light, relative to each other, they're not moving at twice the speed of light, right? And it's crazy, you know, like if you're like a guy right here and you shined two flashlights, the light from this one is not moving 2 times the speed of light relative to this one. It's actually messed up. There's scientists mapping space, but I'd imagine it's rather difficult and technical to do from our perspective of being on a spinning rock. Exactly. It's a lot of things to consider. False vacuum theory is pretty spooky. I don't even know what that is. I've never even heard of this. Vacuum, isn't that the streamer? If there are elements we haven't discovered in space yet, magic is not out of the realm of possibility. I feel like magic is kind of like arbitrary though. Right? Could magic simply be defined as like something we don't yet understand? Like, I'm sure if you went back in time and you showed like a computer to someone from like the 1500s, they would think that's magic. Magic is actually scientifically proven by metaphysics. Yeah, I've metaphysics. It's right here. Rather than mapping space, we should be napping space. Yep, napping space. Call that the bed. Vacuum sugar quest, a game about cleaning. When you have drop sugar on the floor, and you vacuum it. Speaking of napping space. This is my League of Legends account, Play-Doh. Check it out. I'm in Diamond. League of Legends. They would hate you. They'd be like, what the frick is this? But the servers would not be up though. I've talked about this, but it's like if you go back in time and you bring technology, a lot of this stuff is like connected to the internet, which obviously doesn't exist back then. And you know, even for things that don't use the internet, you would need a power source, and then like, you know, then you'd be like, okay, then I'll bring solar power. I would simply bring a solar powered charging thing, and you're like, okay, but that'll work. But then at some point, it might take years, but then the electronics stop working, and then you're stuck. Rather than thinking about space, we should dig down into the core. But what's even in there though? Reality is a mass delusion. Space is being procedurally generated. It's too much. That's too deep. That's too much. You think we're living in a simulation? The other day I stepped on a package of curry powder. I had a vacuum curry quest at home. Wow. That is quite a bit of curry on... is that your bed? That's a lot. I forget the details, but false vacuum is basically the vacuum of space that isn't a real stable ground space. I don't even know what that means. If it randomly became true vacuum, it could perhaps collapse the universe with the speed of light in every direction. What the frick? Nickel cadmium paradox batteries? I don't know. I will bring a battery and set up a server solely for this local demonstration. Demonstration? You can't spell demonstration without demon? Depends on what you define as a simulation. I think it's real, but that doesn't mean reality is only physical objects. Yeah, like you all are real, and yet you are messages on a screen, right? And yet it's still real. It's so wacky though. Getting really metaphysical on this stream. Vacuum is basically nothing, but maybe that nothing is a false vacuum. And there's something even more nothing-like. I can't even comprehend the possibility of there being more than nothing, less than nothing. Something more nothing than nothing. Dang. The truth nothingness is the lack of any and all concepts. I just don't get it. Any philosophers in chat? Anyone study philosophy? Are you actually though? Do you actually do philosophy? Is this why you know all of this stuff? Study with my brain? No, I mean like professionally, as a job. What do you think? Are there professional philosophers? What did they do? Even nothingness is a concept itself, so it's less nothing than a true nothing would be. Bro, that's crazy. That's crazy. I think there are, but it's just academic presumptuousness. When was the last well-known philosopher? Are there modern philosophers that are known? Modern philosophers. Northern Lion. I guess you could say that he's a philosopher, true. When do you switch games? Tomorrow? The classical philosophers were not professional or occupied either. Their thought alone made them. Noam Chomsky. That's the guy from Left 4 Dead. Oh, that's the guy who talked about this. I know the Northern Line clip where he talks about this guy. Cornel West, have not heard of him. Martha Nussbaum, have not heard of. Alasdair McIntyre, I've not heard of this person either. Daniel Dennett. Philip Kitcher. Peter Singer. Amartya Sen. Judith Butler. Nope, I don't know most of these. That's the Noam Chomsky. I'm more like a modern Diogenes, but probably better read. Man, you think they knew that they're gonna die? That's why they call them Diogenes. Sorry, that was not funny. This guy died. You're telling me this guy died and you're joking about it? You can do philosophy about truth claims and try to understand reality, but I guess it turned into navel gazing. Yeah, I don't even know. Philosophy. What's everyone's favorite philosophical thing? Philosophy tier list? Is that a thing? Can we do a philosophy tier list? Would Neil deGrasse Tyson consider himself a philosopher, a PhD? I don't know. I feel like he would be like a scientist, right? Diogenes, more like Diogenes. Exactly. I'm always saying this. Philosophy tier list. Is that a real thing? Famous philosopher tier list? Okay, what do we have? Plato, Aristotle. I can't. His name was literally I can't. Socrates. Descartes before the horse. Thomas Aquinas, David Hume. Thomas Hobbes. Augustine of Hippo. Egg. Does anyone know Egg? What? Ben Shapiro? What the frick? Egg. What the frick? Hitler. Herman. Richard Rorty. Marcus Aurelius. What's worst Southwest dev chat? Software dev chat? Philosophy. 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 What is this? What is that? What is that? I like Zhuangzhou done to death, but I think some of his stuff is neat. I don't know. Wuji. Not because the people aren't engaging. Rather, they will never stop talking. Does anyone else never stop talking? Any fans of not stopping to talk? That's the dreaming about being a butterfly guy. I don't know. what that is. Ted Kaczynski? Isn't that the guy from How I Met Your Mother? Ted Kaczynski. Bazinga. Philosophy. Philip. Sophie. The dream is real until you wake up, and we are all dreaming. I'm a man dreaming I'm a butterfly, or a butterfly dreaming I'm a man. Anyone have any interesting dreams recently? Actually, no, don't answer that, because none of it matters. You ever hear someone explain their dream and you're just like, yeah, okay, yeah, okay, yeah, okay. It literally doesn't matter. I did have an interesting dream. I forgot to write it down though, so I kind of wish I wrote it down. I don't remember what it was, but I did have a dream. Wow, really interesting story, Wolfie. And the streamer is like, I have an interesting story, but I don't remember it. So you can just imagine the most interesting story and you can be like, wow, that was cool. I had a dream I lost all my luggage and I was in the airport store at the airport. Bro, that's crazy. No way. Unbelievable. Hey y'all, want to see some Rust code? Are you seeing this Rust code? I wrote some Rust code. Specifically because I was working on this at the office and I did not have Asprite installed, and then I was like, what if instead of having to download Asprite, I simply wrote a thing that could read the Asprite binary format, and there is a Rust library for it. And so now you can build my project without needing to install Asprite or Python even. It will install whatever Rust toolchain is required. It will install various other things. And I think that's cool. It's pretty neat, right? It's pretty neat. It's pretty cool. What is this supposed to be? It's this. We got puzzles, we got timers, we got everything. Everything's here. Literally everything is here. But it's pretty much the same as last time I streamed. If you had a stream where you jump cut to your IDE to show us Rust code for 10 seconds and then switch back to gaming, like nothing happened. Isn't that what I did though? Is that not simply what I did? I jumped yesterday. I told a bunch of shoplifters to stop being a nuisance. They accused me of being a murderer. Dang. Has anyone been accused of being a murderer before? What's that like? I would enjoy such a stream. What the frick? This one is literally impossible though. Wait, what the? I've never solved one of these. This has never happened before. This is actually generated randomly from things that are in memory. These are the bytes that exist in memory. It's not guaranteed to actually be solvable. Welcome, Polyglitch. But like, this one's impossible, right? Surely this one's impossible. These numbers don't even make sense. And you know why they don't make sense? It's because it's a 15 by 15. But then in memory, there may be values on the 16th byte. There may be values on the 16th bit of the U16 whatever. Anyway, that's it. I was accused of being a murderer once and then I killed them. No. What if you weren't a murderer And you're like, you know what? I can't, this person, they never lie. I can't have them be a liar. And then you murder someone. Specifically so that they're right. You ever think about that? Stop killing people, just do the tag barrel storage in DK64 or something. No. It's impossible. Bet too much on my homie for him to be wrong now. What about the guy from Dexter? You know the meme of the guy who looks suspicious of whatever, you know? He's like, oh, I know this guy. The meme that's like when you know something but you can't prove it. The guy. What if he was like, you know, he thinks Dexter is a murderer and then he's not. But then he's like, well, I can't prove it. He can't be wrong. I have to murder someone so that he's right. And maybe from him thinking that he's a murderer is what caused him to become a murderer. Wish I knew how to do it. If only the dream shoplifters were specific in their accusations. Yeah, that's always the thing I'm wishing. If I'm in a dream, I wish people would be more specific. So that I know specifically. I just know she's an Uma Musume. You know, I've kind of stopped playing Uma Musume. I still log in every day, but I have not done a run probably in like a week and a half now. I do still request shoes in the club. I still send shoes in the club. But I'm not contributing to the fan count. How will we get our club rewards? That's the thing, though. Is that you can't. Is that I'm no longer carrying the club. Welcome, Brooke. He will only do team trials. Yeah, I did team trials. But that's it. I might even quit entirely at some point. Yo, welcome, Colm the Golem. How are you doing? Shout out Cole M, the Goal M. Welcome, Illo Rezi. If you were playing, just chatting. It could be literally anything. Welcome to Latina Mommies. I heard the forbidden word quit. What was I saying? What was I talking about? He's playing webfishing. There is no update. This game has not been updated since 2024. Oh, I was talking about quitting Uma Musume. Yes. I'm sick, so I was doing the dolls, as you know. This guy is sick, bro. This guy is sick. He's always sick. Well, I hope if it was the bad kind of sick, that you recover soon. If it's the good kind of sick, I hope you stay sick forever. The good kind of sick. Sick. Sick as heck. But I hope you succeeded at the dolls. They call them dolls, and yet they're anything but. Cole is dropping us off here to get rid of us. I mean, that's what happens with raids, you know? When the streamer's done, they send them somewhere else. And then people are expected to leave immediately. The fact that you stuck around for more than 30 seconds says a lot. You can feel free. If you gotta leave, you can do it. You should do it right now. You should actually leave right now. Let's see. Evil old woman coughed in my mouth, so I've had sniffles and fatigue since Monday. Bro, that's like awful. Monday, that's like an entire like 4 days. I've been watching this stream long enough that it's become light outside. Perhaps it's time to touch JP. Whoa, Grand, bro, this guy. Word wrong. Unfortunate word wrong. I hope you have a good time touching grass. So running, just out here running. That's how you get people to leave your stream. Is to tell them to leave. Word wrong. Everyone, what was the last time you typed a word wrong? Or said a word wrong? Any fans of incorrectly words? Never. 43 minutes ago? What was that? What was the context behind that? Never. I would never. I would simply always say the word right. Me when the word is correct. Me when we're wrong. What is that emote? Hoku Prey? Oh, that's like a sumo wrestler. I thought that was like a... It looked like a sock puppet or something. I could barely tell. Bear. You think there's like bears out there that make puns all the time about barely? I could barely tell. I could barely even see it. Haha. What bear do you think has the worst vision of all bears? You think they would say, I can barely see? Wouldn't that be so funny? Yeah, it's like a hippo. Yeah, it's like a pog. Sloth bear. Bear. What bear? Which bear has the worst eyesight? 12 types of bears ranked by danger level. Bears generally have good eyesight. Specific comparisons are not well documented. They may not excel in distance vision, but it's primarily adapted. I'm reading the AI generated result. Brown bear. It's Hokuto Fuji doing his trademark pre-fight prey gesture. Of course, I should have known. Sloth bear when Wrath bear walks. Is sloth bear real? Is that like a real thing? Sloth, sin, gluttony. Others, the other ones. Bear. I don't know. What else is there to talk about? Did you all see the freaking game? You see the big game, guys? What about the big game? That's right. Web fishing. Love looking at the AI generated search result and it's just lies really improve the internet. It's actually messed up. What big game? The Final Fantasy Tactics remake? I honestly don't know. Mets, love the Mets. Love the Mets. Oh, what the? The game, yeah, the game. Anyone else just lose the game? Any game losers? Game. You see the big game? The one about recent game announcements, such as Among Us, guys. Mario. GameDole has a new thing. I guess I'll find out tomorrow when I play it. Among Us. Pokemon. Subway Surfers. Is that Mume? It's not Mume. They announced Hoop and Stick, bro. It's crazy. What about the cup and ball? What about gaming spell of Verslaving? Gotta find out what that means. Spell of Verslaving? Bro, anyone Verslaving right now? Best cozy games on PC. Duck shooter game. How many people you think are out there just searching game? just the word game. Oh, Tokyo Game Show. Wait a second. Tokyo Game Show. What is that? Astrobot? Dragon Quest? TGS this weekend. There was some Steam game the other day. There's a virus that steals your money. I've never heard of it. Fish bowl. Fish bowl. I didn't know fish could do that. That's crazy. Who do you think you are? I am. Meteora. A billion indie game. Brains app's message has been deleted. Do you have a list of cool itch.io games? Yes. I do have a list of games I've enjoyed. It is in fact here. It is in fact this list. Monster Hunter X Final Fantasy collab. Monster Hunter 10 Final Fantasy collab. Is that real? That can't be real. Trains are also super packed this morning. Oh, for Tokyo Game Show? I don't know. I feel like I don't care enough about games to go to like a game show. Does anyone even care about games nowadays? No. The answer is no. Alright, I'm gonna end the stream. It is time to end the stream, everyone. Thanks for stopping by. New image has just been drawn. The Black Mage. The Black Mage from Final Fantasy. The Last Fantasy. Look at this art. Such good art. Raiding and running after my raid. It's fine. Everyone's gone. All your raiders, they've left. That one was tagging, the other upside down one was last. Yes, I know this one was last Ivanka. This one is tag barrel storage. It's good. Good one. Alright, thanks for stopping by. It is now time to save and quit. Do you want to close all tabs? Do you want to close all tabs? Not just the tabs on my computer, but all tabs, like, ever? Even on your computer? No, I would not want to do that. Oh, that's the wrong screen. This one. Alright. Alpaca Day? Bro. European Languages Day? European Day of Languages? Hug a Vegetarian Day? Love Note Day? Dumpling Day? Key Lime Pie Day? Ooh, Pancake Day. Shamu the Whale Day. Biggest Coffee Morning. Situational Awareness Day. What is that? Alpaca Day. I can't even fit the entire day. Alpaca? Alpaca. Isn't that the freaking actor guy? who did Dunkachino. Let's do, I mean, I feel like Pancake Day would be a good one. You know, the food-related ones are always good. Alpaca Patrol, I haven't heard that name in a long time. Let's do... Well, you can do whatever you want. Okay, you post whatever raid message you want. I will type out National Pancake Day. And there's probably a pancake emoji, but you can post whatever you want. Let's find out who's streaming. Who do I raid? Who do I raid today? What about... Well, last time I tried raiding this person, they had follower or subscriber only chat enabled, and I feel like they probably still do. They do, so I will not send you there. I will instead send you to a different stream. And that stream is going to be, what about this one? Rem to Ember is playing Silent Hill, the new one. Silent Hill F. Is it pronounced Silent Hill F? Or is it a different letter? Silent Hilf? The F is actually part of the word hill. Silent Hilf? Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow with the Variety Saturday Gaming, most likely. So look forward to that. Hope everyone has a good day. The F stands for forced child marriage. It does it though? Is that what happens in Silent Hilf? I don't actually know anything about the game. Doesn't it have like Dark Souls style combat or something? And people are saying like, hey, it's not a real Silent Hill game. It's got combat that's fluid. I thought the combat was supposed to be like janky. Is that true? Did I make that up? Is that the discourse around gaming right now? In this one, the hills talk? No, they're silent. I thought the series was survival horror. But it has Dark Souls style combat or something. Anyway, the raid's going. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.